How come we run around looking for agreement all the time with our ideas and not looking for criticism? How come ego? How come we don't instead look for what's wrong with the plan? How come we just got to have somebody to tell us that our plan's great? Why do we go looking for votes? Why do we go look for confirmation that we're amazing? Isn't it really revealing that our self-esteem is just weak and that we're sacrificing our business and inviting risk into our lives because we don't have enough esteem about ourselves? Isn't that what it's really about? Your ego is so important to you, you're willing to protect it more than your business? So many of us in this room, including myself, would protect our ego before our business if the setting was right. Isn't that scary? You would really protect your business last behind your ego? You would really put your ego in front of your wallet? You really would? And guys will tell me, I wouldn't do that. And then I'll watch them tell somebody else, oh, I do 1 point whatever. Then you go look under the hood and it's, well, 900K. The ego was driving them. They just did a little white lie. When you put the ego in charge, it doesn't always reveal good things. See, guys, I want to make sure that you see the big picture here. I can teach you balance sheets, and we can talk about average ticket and close ratios and how to sell better and communication and sales scripts and how to build your business and do all that. I mean, we taught you a lot this weekend. I mean, was it overwhelming? And right now, you're kind of just fried going, what the hell is he talking about? I don't even want him to talk anymore. I actually had somebody go, this thing is too short. I was like, are you crazy? But, looking for permission. Let's just talk about this for a second. The last time you had a big decision, did you really go look for somebody to agree with you, or did you go look for somebody to criticize you? Did you really, though? And when you stop and you think about, when you go and you ask for advice, are you looking for agreement to prop up your self-esteem? Is your self-esteem that weak? Are you still a hurting little boy, a hurting little girl? If that's the case, go to your spouse and say, you just got to tell me I am awesome every day so I don't go do something stupid. You don't need to get permission anymore. You need criticism. You need to invite criticism into your life. You need people looking for the screw-ups, the trap doors, the things that can go wrong, because that reveals risk. And risk says that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes bad things will happen, right? And do we as business owners want zero risk? Do we desire certainty instead? And if you think about it, when you remove risk and you invite certainty in your life, it's like buying insurance, right? If I go and I buy liability on my building, so if the old lady slips and falls and breaks her hip, she can't sue me, and instead I swap that for $500 a month in insurance, I can now build a business plan around a $500 a month certainty, right? A brick in my wall of business. But if I just forever save $500 just so she can someday sue me for $1 million, that math doesn't work until I have $1 million saved up. I have to have a business built around certainty. Everybody say certainty. Certainty. You cannot be vague in business. You can't say, oh, well, this will work or that will work. You can't give excuses. You can't have a business that's set up where one guy's doing one role, but someone else is doing another role that they shouldn't be doing. And if that's the case, and that guy comes over here and he helps this guy, and this guy comes and helps that guy, you have so many people helping, it gets confusing to know who's doing what. Then guys, you don't have a business based on roles. You don't have a business based on systems. You have a business based on, oh, there's a problem, there's a fire, go put it out. Anybody here employ a lot of firefighters? I just hear smirks and laughter and no hands. I think a lot of us, we're not even looking for people to agree with us. We're looking for the permission to agree with ourselves. Anybody here come up with a great idea and you kind of struggle to get the confidence to act on it? So if I run around looking for people to agree with me, am I really looking just to get me to agree with me? It gets kind of heady, doesn't it? Yeah, Jeff is like, yeah. Jeff always makes me laugh. You know, some of us right now are running to the wrong people. This is another big thing. You'll run and you'll ask somebody for help, and the person you run and ask for help is kind of a loser, and they're kind of not as good as you. In fact, they're one of those ones you know you need to not hang out with anymore, and you ask them for permission, and then when you ask them for permission to be successful, and they give you some advice that's kind of negative, and they actually don't want you to be successful, it kind of rubs you funny, and you go, oh my gosh, oh crap, dang, what am I going to do with that? And you're so nice and naive because you're just a good person. You don't think that person actually wants something bad for you. Do you know right now, every one of us have family and friends that are jealous of us? Would you guys agree with that in the room? I mean, you guys fly private everywhere. You have limos that pick you up. You know, you're making $1 million a day. I mean, it's insanity. We all have family right now. You know, you go to Thanksgiving, they're like, well, it must be nice, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I love it when someone starts a conversation with me like, it must be nice. It's like, I think all of us in the room, we have this big red button. And on the title, it says, it must be nice. And if they dare push that button, because they don't know, what have you sacrificed? What is the risk you've put on the table? The years of your life you've given up to just prove yourself and prove yourself and prove yourself so somebody will say you're worthy. So somebody will say finally you're good enough. Because a long time ago you were told by your mommy, your daddy, your friends at school, your brothers, your sisters, and everybody else that you still weren't good enough. And you had a chip on your shoulder and you're like, oh yes I am. I'll push it. I'll show you. Here's the problem with it though. When you end up like that, it's your goal to go back to that loser and prove him wrong, isn't it? And so now the loser is your true north. They're your compass. And when your whole goal is just to go prove to your deadbeat dad that you're something, and when you get there and show him he doesn't care, your whole world falls apart. Your whole worldview falls apart. Some of you go, I don't have that, Aaron. I'm totally fine. You're not. We all do this. There's a rich guy down the street. There's some guy at your church. There's somebody up the... Every one of us knows somebody who's doing better than us. And we're trying to prove to them that we're on their level. And the sad thing is, they don't even like you. Dave Ramsey has a saying, stop trying to impress people that you don't like and start trying to hang out with the ones you do and everything else. And he pushes this a lot. But if you stop and you think about it, the people that you're trying to get to approve your decisions and say, wow, you're kind of a big deal, they're the ones that don't want you to be a big deal. They're not going to give you good advice. And then the one that does, yourself, you don't trust that guy. You don't trust that girl. You don't trust that advice you're hearing. And so you run around looking for other people to loan you confidence. The biggest thing I do is I loan confidence. I'm like a confidence bank. Okay, and I charge 0% interest, minus the fee every month. Somebody said, well, what is this thing you run? I go, it's kind of like a business church with a mandatory offering every month. It's the only way to describe it. Wouldn't you love it if you went to church and they sent you a bill every month? You'd be like, this feels vaguely familiar. This is kind of awkward. I'm telling you all this because I want you to see the mind tricks you're playing on yourself. I taught you a lot about business. Greg taught you a lot about business. Both Mike and Michael taught you a lot about business. All the coaches taught you a lot about business. Rachel taught you a lot about business. Everybody taught you a lot about business this weekend. The problem with it is your internal issues are going to determine if any of you in the room are successful. And we had probably, it looks about like 25% of the room had to leave early to go catch their flights. And we'll never know if they got successful. But y'all are going to get the last part. Y'all get the best part. In about 2.5 minutes, that Mountain Dew will kick in. Just watch. I drank like half that bottle just a second ago. So I need you to see that if you have this perception that I need to go get Levi's approval, Rob's approval, Bob's approval, and I got to get that person to say to me, you did a good job, right, Ryan? And everybody says to me, you did a good job. All of a sudden, I finally can tell myself, man, maybe I am something. Maybe I am just a little bit better than I thought. Maybe I'm just a little bit bigger. And then when you get that confidence and you go out and you think about a decision again and you try to apply it to yourself, you say, okay, crap, I am a little taller than before. I'm a little bit bigger of a deal. Holy crap. Every time Aaron said I'm a big deal, maybe he was right. Maybe. As this confidence starts to get triggered over and over by hanging around the right people, your confidence will grow and it'll get clear. Decisions become clear. You don't need outside approval because you're willing to go at it alone. See, when you first break out of the negative pack back home and all your loser friends, which we all have, and we all have loser friends, me included, and you went to school with them or that you've known them forever and you try to help them out. There's nothing wrong with helping them out. Encourage them. But you have to be careful the time you spend with them. You even got, some of you, it's family. I've got family like that. I have to be super careful with certain family members. And so if I continue to hang out with these family members and they're jealous and they're frustrated and they say things to me that make me feel negative inside, emotions are the language of the body. And whenever I feel negative, my brain kicks into negative thoughts. And when I start getting negative thoughts, all of a sudden I start saying to myself programming terms. And programming terms like, I can't do it. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't say this way. I'll never do that again. And every one of us have said, I'll never do that again about something in our life. And guess what? You've never done it again. You were laughed at, you were accused, you were made fun of, and you don't even realize it. You're walking out of here and you're told when to go to the bathroom by your subconscious. You're told who to talk to, who not to talk to, and your whole personality is built off of it. It's nuts. Like you can determine your entire level of success by the crap you've been through. I mean, isn't that crazy?